Before we do anything though, I want to talk about an operator, because seemingly we're gonna start every stream with lengthy discussion about one operator each time. This time I want to talk about Wang. The more I think about Wang, the more I am befuddled at how poorly designed he is. His kit is tragic. That's not to say that Wang is bad, quite the opposite. Wang, at least on paper, is quite a bit better than Wis'Adel, so at the very least he's a top 5 operator in the game, if not top 3 even. What I want to say about Wang is that you know how sometimes nicheknights players will look at a new 6-star release like Pramanix alter, Silverash alter, and they will be, oh, this is too strong, this is so lazy, this is just here to sell a product. Every time that a new strong 6-star comes out, it's 9/11 for every nicheknight player across the globe. Wang is that. Wang is everything that casuals and 5-star players think that Wis'Adel is. People think that Wis'Adel is this lazy operator with overtuned numbers that has nothing going on. In reality, Wis'Adel's kit is quite complex, it's quite well designed. I saw a comment that said, Wis'Adel is much like a gun. The end result of shooting the bullet is very powerful, is very simple, but inside there is a lot of intricacies going on inside the gun to achieve the final result of shooting the bullet. Wis'Adel also has a pretty glaring flaw. The thing with Wis'Adel is that she gets walled, and she gets walled by design. She's a physical operator by design. The moment you put her in more demanding content, she starts to fall apart, because her kit completely falls against any sort of high defensive stats. Not just that, Wis'Adel even has 3 different and usable skills for different situations. Skill 1 can be a permastun in SSS or with Archetto. Skill 2 is her best skill when you use attack speed buffs, and Skill 3 is the nuke that you're all familiar with. Now let's look at Wang. People say that Wis'Adel is poorly designed because she's a flinger that can hit air. Now, let's take a look at the new 6-star Trapmaster here. What is the deal with Trapmaster? Trapmaster is an archetype that is very different from the entire rest of the game. Usually, an operator in Arknights can be used reactively. Of course, you can set up an entire waifu fort, but operators like Texas Alter, Crown Slayer, Yato, and a lot of others can be used reactively. That's where the joke tower offense comes from. Trapmasters are the opposite. They are an archetype which 100% needs to be used in anticipation. It's a setup archetype. You need to put down the traps and have the enemy walk into your setup trap zone. Wang completely throws all of this out of the window. He is made specifically to be used reactively. Everything in his kit allows him to spam out his traps reactively, because they can be deployed on top of enemies, they can be deployed on top of banned tiles, they can even be deployed on top of stairs, which I'm not sure that was intended, but they can. Then we can look at his skills. Skill 1 deals damage and slows. Perfectly fine as a Trapmaster effect. Then you look at the skill 2. It deals damage and slows. You may have noticed that even down to the SP cost, these are the same skill. This is the same skill twice, except that skill 2 deals more damage and slows a little less. Then you look at skill 3, and it's kind of, again, the same skill. He has the same skill 3 times, progressively getting stronger. And this is what I meant when I said he's designed to be used reactively, because how you use skill 3 is that you pop it and then you just spam Weichi Go tiles on top of the enemy. But Wang goes even further than just being a unit you can use reactively, despite what the entire archetype is made for. Because if you remember, Dorothy has a pretty similar skill 3. Dorothy's skill 3 has it so when an enemy steps on a trap, every other adjacent trap also triggers, so you have to be careful to not waste traps like that. Wang throws that out of the window as well. In case you didn't know, Wang's traps do not trigger if they can't deal damage. It's not like Dorothy, where the traps trigger regardless. If a trap can't hit an enemy, it doesn't trigger, it stays on the field. Now let's recall to 4 minutes ago, when I said the main point of balance for Wis'Adel is the fact she gets walled in high-end content. It's the fact that the moment you put her in CC, she might as well be a 3-star cruise. First of all, Wang is an arts operator. Due to how damage calculation works, arts is calculated in percentage, defense is calculated as a subtraction, so just by virtue of being an arts operator, he is way harder to stat check. But that apparently was not enough on its own, because for some reason they gave him stat ignore. With the module he gets 36 resistance shred. The one balancing factor of operators like Wis'Adel is that they fall off in high-end content. Wang does not. You can use him in CC because he has stat ignore. So essentially, there is not really anything special going on in this kit. There's nothing really unique going on in this kit. Even Chen Alter, I can't believe I am here defending Chen Alter. Even Chen 3 has an interesting effect on skill 3. The dragon, you need to use some amount of brain activity, you need to put your thinking cap on to abuse the dragon. It gets even better if you have nasty, because if you don't know, the dragon does bounce on nasty tiles. Wang has none of that. As I said, he is everything that casuals think that Wis'Adel is. Just the most brain-dead unit imaginable. There's nothing going on in this kit, there's no sauce. This kit is drier than a woman after listening to a Redditor. I honestly don't know what they were thinking, because then you add the shoe on top. At least you can say, oh, he has the same SP cost as Wis'Adel skill 3, you know, 50 SP cost, that's not nothing, that's a lot. But then you add that he gets the shoe buff. He gets the shoe SP buff on top of everything. So again, he's not a bad operator, he's just really lazy. His kit is so lazy, because year 7 has been really good with new operator kits, right? Year 7 introduced Exia, Lemwen, Sanctam Apparato, Silverash Alter, Pramanix Alter, Oshiguma Alter, Haruka. Just a lot of operators with a really interesting kit. We got fucking nasty this year. And now we get this. Yeah, do you think it's because they're running out of money? Fucking Wang is just here to fund Endfield. That's why he's like that. He's here to fund Enfield 1.2. Oh, Stan, I'm a meta slave at heart. Of course I'm rolling Wang. What do you think? I spent like 15 minutes shitting on him, but of course I'm gonna roll Wang. Are you insane? Hey, hi, welcome to the outro. Hey, entirely unrelated, but have you guys been seeing that discussion on Twitter about people that don't play video games but still want to be fans and part of the fandom? That was kind of eye-opening. It explains so much about the current video game discourse that you're talking to people that don't play the games. And it opened my eyes about Arknights too, because like, how many times did I have a meta discussion with someone that doesn't even play the game, that just watches guides to clear every hard stage, you know? Anyway, thank you to the members, in particular Bar2D2X, Noel Runes, Damonte Glassford, Zither King, Ascended Azen, Nemotic, Jaimiro Wis'Adel, Diomine Spasmort, Soramars Link, The Long Chef, Ginchi Tentuna, Vinco Ching, Ilio, Living Shad, Crayon Box, Efram, The Lord of All Magic, URL Killer, Divius, Kino, Bomb Ninja, Polo T, Quiz102, Mr. Lerder, Raptor, 1K, Never Far Off, Zephyrinix, Nupo, Sergio Alvarez, Boru Barf, Kevin McGuire, I Antonio Trace, Bistum, San Kenshi, Chromala-chan, 5QTZK, Genial Gay Shipper, Selfer7, Mazio Says, Come On Here, Larmendra, Prancing Peppers, Yuvune, King of Harems, and that guy with 2 names. That's all. Bye bye.